Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Fighters! And we've got a very special review for you guys that you requested.
Yay!
We're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super, the Broly movie, which came out on January 16th here in the States.
Yeah!
And has a limited run in the theaters, and we actually saw it on Amber's birthday.
Yay! So, best birthday present ever. We got to see it with some really good friends.
Very good friends.
We had a nice time, and I had to ask everybody afterwards a lot of questions because I never saw the first incarnation of Broly, so this is a totally new better version of Broly. So we'll talk a little bit about the movie first, and then we'll let you guys know when spoilers. We're gonna start doing spoilers.
Totally. So even though it's set up as first to 3, Amber and I are going to keep playing until we get to say everything we want to about the movie, because we really did like the movie. But essentially the premise of this movie, if you guys didn't know, it kind of like combines elements of Dragon Ball Z, showing what happened on planet Vegeta, which, as you guys know, very like Krypton based. You know, the planet blows up and Frieza's always the cause of everything.
That was, I mean, that's the first time I was able to actually see that, because I didn't watch that in Super or the original Dragon Ball Z, so.
It was in the original Dragon Ball Z. Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen all of this.
I know you haven't. There's hundreds of episodes. I mean, it's not an easy thing to... I was
surprised how similar to Superman the origin story was.
I think Toriyama did that on purpose, to be honest. I mean, you have to remember, when Goku first started, he didn't have like this massive alien origin. That came later in Dragon Ball Z, like where the Saiyans arrived and you had the Saiyan saga and all this other stuff.
I felt like, well, just like Kryptonians though. Well, no, Kryptonians, they weren't all warrior people though.
No.
Kryptonians had a warrior class, but...
Yep.
I don't know, I don't want to say, but like, I think I always look too deep into things, but I don't know, maybe I'll say it later, but I don't know, for some reason it just gave me a feeling like, okay, it's a whole race of people that are all warrior people, and then they got so powerful, and then they had a horrible, like, destruction, tragedy happen to them, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was thinking, I know who that is, like, but, like, I guess nobody thinks like that, me, but I was thinking, oh my gosh, that's like the Japanese, you know?
Except the Japanese weren't destroyed. They had a couple cities blown up.
Yeah, but that was, like, tremendous. I mean, it made a tremendous impact on them, seeing, you know, that happen. Anyway, it felt like they were destroyed, probably. Okay, rematch? Alright, let's do this. But anyway, getting back to whatever, Dragon Ball. Yeah, so I really liked this version of Broly. If you watch them, like, I guess we'll just talk about it. Basically, it had to do with the origins of Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, and...
That's correct.
And then basically, like, if you guys haven't seen this movie, you know, we'll just kind of give you an idea of what it was about. You know, it had Frieza in it, you know, Goku, Vegeta, and then... Broly, and then it talked about the origins with Vegeta's dad and Goku's dad, and the origins of, you know, what happened with the Saiyans, and...
It changes Dragon Ball Z canon a little bit. Like, how Broly dies, or not Broly, sorry, how Bardock, Goku's dad, dies is a little bit different. And some people say that Bardock didn't really die in the original Dragon Ball Z. He ended up coming back for, like, I don't know, he ended up getting transported away, and his wife wasn't as nice as they made her in the movie. In the movie, she kind of reminded me of Chi-Chi and Videl. Like, Goku had, like, a really nice, loving mom. So, I mean, they changed that a little bit. When they showed the Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z, like, they're all fighters, and they don't have, like, this lush society where there's different groups of them. We saw in the movie that there are, like, pilots, there are engineers, you know? So they changed it a little bit. It felt more Kryptonian this time.
Yeah, it did make it feel like, okay, they are a race of fighters, but some of them are more elite fighters than others. Some of them are more towards mechanical engineers, exactly. Like, but anyway... A main thing about this movie that I take away is that, you know, Broly has personality that you just kind of want to give a hug and a snuggle to, and he is just like, you feel for his character so much, and there's so much heart to him, more than apparently I've heard that the original Broly didn't have anything like that.
Original Broly, I would describe him as kind of like a berserker. Like, his dad, just like in the movie, he keeps Broly, like, in control, but in Dragon Ball Z, he had, like, these magic bracelets or something and chains that he wore, whereas I like how they described it in the movie better, because it made more sense. It was like this thing that would shock Broly, because it was like some type of mythical gear. It just didn't, I don't know, it was weird. It was Dragon Ball Z.
It kind of like one of those, I don't know, I feel like when you're describing it, I'm thinking like in Star Trek when they put that thing over someone's forehead and then they're magically better. There's no explanation for how they got healed or whatever.
Yeah, kind of.
Like, it just does, it's just mystical and it's just like, okay, that didn't, it feels like, they didn't, it's like they didn't want to explain it, so they just made it, oh, it's magic.
Yeah, pretty much, yes, exactly. It was just these magic bracelets. And
like,
nobody really...
How does a light bulb work, Mom? Oh, by magic.
It's all magic.
Yeah, so...
I believe in magic.
We should get to the spoiler part of it, because...
We'll get to it.
There's no point in talking about it, like, without actually talking about things that happen.
No, I'm good.
Right, well, I don't have anything else to say,
I'm trying to think. We were talking about Broly stuff. So, Broly, unlike the movie, like the previous movies you guys have seen, where he's basically this form Broly, although Broly... The movie version is actually coming to Dragon Ball FighterZ, and there are some new characters coming as well. So they just announced like a new season pass, so we're not done with this game yet. They're going to continue to support it, which we're really happy about actually, because we do like this game, it's a lot of fun. But anyway, he has a personality for once. Like, Broly in Dragon Ball Z, he had like this unnatural obsession with Goku because how they explained it, which was dumb. When they were babies in their little, like, I guess like pod cradles or something, I don't know. Those little bubble things that they have the same babies in when they're born.
Yeah, they're like basically babies from a tube.
Yeah, like tube babies, I guess. But Broly in Dragon Ball Z would keep hearing Goku crying because Goku was a lesser Saiyan. So baby Goku was driving Broly insane. So the fact that he got into Broly's mind as an adult, even though he swore revenge on Vegeta's dad, who was, you know, gone by Frieza and stuff like that in Dragon Ball Z, Broly disobeys his dad and goes after Goku as soon as he sees Goku or Kakarot. He's like, I hate you! And then he just goes crazy and turns into the legendary Super Saiyan.
Well, I mean, Dragon Ball does put a lot of humor into things, but that seemed kind of like a lame, like, reason for him not to like him. But
yeah.
Can I just say something to people who have not, like, seen, like, any Dragon Ball, like, episodes or movies or anything? You guys would really like this movie because it's, like, tremendously action-packed. Like, if you enjoy any kind of action sci-fi, like, you know, like, live action or you know, animation, then this is like 10 million times better than probably anything you've seen already.
Oh, it's amazing.
So, like, if you already like something, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I have to say that, yes, Gundam is interesting. Gundam is really cool, but I think it's on par with that, you know? I won't say it's better, but, I mean, it's got humor in it, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. It's the humor part of it, where, you know, like, you think that this enemy is going, trying to collect these Dragon Balls for this, like, evil purpose, and then it's just for something really kind of, like, vain and lame, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like, it's just really funny. So I like how they mix it up between, you know, I mean, it's unrealistic, but it's really funny, actually.
Yeah, they do, like, the great thing that I loved about Dragon Ball Super, the show, is they would bring in a lot of, like, comedic elements. It wasn't just, like, straight all the time, like, oh, I'm gonna fight you and stuff like that. They added, like, more humor to it. And the reason why we're cutting the fighting stuff, guys, like the intros, is because Amber and I are just constantly talking about the movie and things like that, and we don't want to lose our train of thought and get interrupted and all that fun stuff. So if you want to see more of the cutscenes, the characters, check out our Dragon Ball FighterZ playlist, because we've done a lot of episodes of this.
I don't know what's a spoiler and what's not, so I'm gonna keep talking about the movie, and Luke can put a little spoiler icon when we start talking about spoilers.
Well, we can talk about spoilers. So we've pretty much told you guys what the premise of the movie is. You know that Broly is, I would say, the big difference between the characters. Original Broly, kind of crazy, berserker, super powerful. Movie Broly has an actual well, same backstory, but it's a little bit more tragic, but he also, like, he deals with it better, you know?
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
Yeah, so basically the movie is about a battle with Broly. So, you guys, if you don't want to see spoilers, please leave now. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Alright, now we can talk about whatever we want.
Fun.
So, number one thing in the movie, that everyone was screaming in the theater about, which I cannot understand to this day, is Vegeta turning red.
Okay, I can explain that. So, that is a Super Saiyan God form. I'm trying to remember which one it is. I believe it's the first one. In the Dragon Ball Super Battle for Gods movie, which is technically the first Dragon Ball Super movie. I don't know if they've made another one. But it kind of started revitalizing Dragon Ball for the first time in almost 20 years, and it gave us a Dragon Ball Super series. And in it, Goku is fighting off a character called Lord Beerus, who comes to Earth to destroy it, because he's looking for the Super Saiyan God. Which is like this, you know, big-time, scary Saiyan, whatever. So we're gonna have to go back to the character selection and just pick the characters again, because it's only first to 3.
Alright. Yeah.
Alright, so, Dragon Ball Battle for Gods movie. Basically, Beerus shows up, he wants to fight the Super Saiyan God, and Goku is a Super Saiyan. He can go Super Saiyan level 3, which really doesn't bother Beerus. So he's like, alright, you know, I'm gonna give you guys time to find me the Super Saiyan God, and in the meantime, Bulma kind of distracts the Lord of Destruction with food, which will be very important later on in this Dragon Ball canon.
Yeah.
But Beerus gives the Saiyans time to bring about the Super Saiyan God, and harnessing all their powers, Vegeta included, they're able to channel their energy into Goku, which turns him red. And that was the whole movie. And then later on in Dragon Ball Super, the show, he ends up getting the blue form, same for Vegeta. It's a very strong form of Super Saiyan God. Although we, in America, call it Super Saiyan Blue. Or, you know, Super whatever. So, anyway, or Blue. I always call him Blue Goku, Blue Vegeta. That's usually my thing.
Yeah.
So, in the movie, when Broly comes to Earth to get revenge on Vegeta's dad, because, you know, they were exiled, just like in Dragon Ball Z, and they hate Vegeta's dad. And Vegeta's dad was not really a nice guy.
He seemed really mean.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you had to be ruthless if you were the king of the Saiyan people, right?
Yeah, definitely. It feels like he helped power by, any means necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, I mean, the way that, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I held my hand to my mouth when I was looking at, like, the way that Vegeta's dad exiled, like, a tiny child, and then, like, his dad is pleading for his child's life, like, oh, you know, why would you exile my son? And he's like, oh, your son is just so powerful. He would probably just become crazy. So I decided to put him on a barren planet for his own good, and then maybe he'll conquer that world, and he'll help us. And then the dad's like, well, there's no people on that world. It wouldn't even be useful. There's no resources. And he's just like, wait a second, you're putting my son there because, you know, like, you're jealous of his power. And he's like, you're trying to, you know, basically destroy my son. It's like a fate worse than death. He'll be, like, you know, tortured there forever or whatever. And he's just like, whatever. He's like, the pod has already left. See ya. And his dad was so cool, like, going after his own son. He just hijacked the pod and went after his son. And I thought his dad was amazing until towards the end when I saw how his dad was controlling him. Yep,
but we'll talk about that a bit later. So anyway, the characters end up being saved by Frieza. Sort of. Like, the Frieza forces come and they help out Broly and the dad that have been stranded on this planet for a very long time. This inhospitable, barren wasteland that's got, like, nasty aliens on it. And that's how Broly became as powerful as he was. He battled, like, these monsters. So they gave kind of context to how Broly becomes, like, this legendary fighter. Although, I don't believe he has the nickname as the legendary Super Saiyan. Like,
yeah, I didn't really hear it said.
No.
Maybe if it was said maybe once in the very end. But it's like everyone knew who he was, but it's like no one was saying it out loud in the movie. Right?
I don't think I ever heard it in the movie, because it's completely different. Whereas in Dragon Ball, like, Broly made this kind of, like, myth around him going across the universe and doing all this other stuff as a legendary Super Saiyan, conquering and whatever. Little Broly was stuck on a planet for years with his not-so-nice dad.
Yeah, but they did talk about the myth of the legendary Super Saiyan when he was a baby, though.
Yeah, well, that was a thing passed on from the Saiyan race, because there probably was a Super Saiyan. We don't know who it was.
Yeah, because that was one reason why Bardock talked about the legend, because he said that he was sending his son Goku off the planet because he felt that Frieza would actually be afraid of the legend of the Super Saiyan, legendary Super Saiyan, so he was going to try to get rid of all the Saiyans just in case there was one. Kind of like Moses or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can view it as like the story of Moses, like the baby in the pod, or you could do Superman. Like, Toriyama was kind of influenced by both of those stories, so...
I'm pretty sure that Superman was actually based partly off Moses anyway.
Yes, he was, yeah.
So it's like it would be based off both.
Well, I mean, they were Jewish immigrants, so I mean,
yeah. Of course they would know the story of Moses if they're Jewish immigrants, exactly. But anyway, so yeah, they did talk about the legend of the Super Saiyan. Whether anyone actually said this is the legendary Super Saiyan about Broly in the movie, I don't remember if anyone ever did say that.
No.
So, yeah.
Alright, so, eventually, Vegeta, or the people who don't like Vegeta, they end up going to Earth because they want to destroy him, and Frieza's basically using Broly and his dad to get the Dragon Balls, because I'm not going to spoil what he wants to wish for, but it's really interesting. It made me think differently about, Frieza.
Well, it was hilarious, and also, yeah.
But we're not going to tell you what it is. You have to see the movie. You have to.
Bulma has some interesting wishes for herself, which I was like, okay, I'm totally like Bulma. like she's just so relatable. Like, she's just really funny. Like, she has all these powers. She's so intelligent.
She doesn't have any powers. She's a civilian.
Oh, well, I mean, really?
She builds all that technology, the capsule core.
She builds it by hand, then?
Yeah, she's like a famous engineer.
Oh, well, she's extremely intelligent and cool.
See the city that we're in with those weird shapes in the background? That's capsule core. Those are special designed, like, technology that Bulma's company makes. Yep. Well, no, her family makes it.
Oh, her company, yeah.
I mean, now she makes it. She does all kinds of stuff. She makes sports cars, technology, portable houses, all kinds of stuff. But, yeah, anyway, so Frieza wants the Dragon Balls, and in order to distract Goku and Vegeta, who he doesn't really like after, you know, helping them save the universe, which is something that was very beneath Frieza. So this picks up right at the end of the last Dragon Ball Super arc. I forget the name of that tournament, but it was another, like, you know, space tournament thing, deciding the fate of the universe, things like that. And Frieza helped them out. And Frieza's just, like, really annoyed that he had to do that. So when he comes across Broly and his dad, he's kind of like, I think I could go pay Goku a visit. Because I have to pick up the Dragon Balls anyway.
Yeah.
But he makes it very clear to Broly and Broly's dad that you are not to kill Goku because he's mine. You know. But unfortunately things go a bit crazy when Broly starts fighting finally. Just like in the original Dragon Ball Z show, he holds no restraints, and it's an amazing fight. It
is awesome.
Really is.
It's amazing that someone was able to make that fight so exciting with all the...
Oh, people are cheering and all kinds of stuff.
With all the live-action and animated fights I've ever seen, I think that has to be one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen all time, like battle scenes or whatever.
Aww.
It was actually amazing, yeah.
I thought I was going to come back from that one. Not so much.
But I mean, so, like, with, what's his name, like, the first thing that got everyone riled up was Vegeta turning red, which you told me that he...
People screamed because he's never done that transformation except for in the manga.
Oh, okay, yeah, so...
And his red transformation was more powerful than Goku's, so he was, like, decimating Broly.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And, like, you were saying that before, you're supposed to draw energy from other people. Like, somehow he did it by himself or something. Like
the reason why he learned Super Saiyan Blue is because he was being taught by Whis, which is Beerus's, kind of, I guess Guardian Angel. I don't know what Beerus is. Beerus is something important.
But yeah, I mean, like the other main thing in the movie, like, you know, we were looking for the Dragon Balls. We got their awesome fight with Broly, and then I feel like Broly's gonna have like a love interest towards the end, like, or in the next movie, or
I don't know if he's gonna have another movie. He's gonna appear like in the new Dragon Ball series that they're working on.
Yeah.
But the first thing that they're gonna do is this 2-hour movie that you saw. They're going to turn into a 20-episode series. So they're going to add a lot more to it, just like they did with the Battle for Gods movie. You know, it'll be like 7 episodes of the anime, and then they'll add, like, more stuff.
Yeah.
Which is going to be cool. I mean, I like when they do that.
But yeah, like you said, Broly is, like, basically a berserker because he loses control of himself. And I mean, I know, like, berserkers in ancient times were, like, pretty much Vikings and other people that were animal pelts, and they would drink these toxins.
Let's not get too far.
All right.
Into
Well,
it,
anyway, they would just be basically possessed and fighting, and they were like unstoppable. Like they'd feel no pain, pretty much. That was basically what they did. So that was kind of what Broly was like. It was like he became someone else, and he looked kind of possessed because of his eyes, and it was like he felt no pain. So yeah.
Ow.
But I mean, he wasn't really. He was like he's his own thing. He's a sick. It was like he had never actually learned or trained with another, like, Super Saiyan before, you know?
Yeah, it was his first...
So, he was learning on the spot as he was fighting Vegeta and Goku, and...
But that's what he does as a berserker. Broly, like, he learns from his enemy. So that was technically old school canon. That was kind of cool to see that they did that.
But the thing that made this movie so really cool is, like, basically when Frieza Force picks up Broly and his dad, like, you get to see a really interesting side of Broly and his dad when they're sitting down to eat. You find out how his dad controls him with an electric collar, kind of like a puppy or whatever. Because you get conflicted because you don't understand if his dad is right or wrong, because you feel like his dad is evil for trying to control him, but then at the same time you wonder what would happen if his dad wasn't controlling him, like if he would destroy everybody. So you get really confused, like, but then, you know, but at the same time I feel like King Vegeta definitely wasn't trying to protect Broly by putting him out there. I feel like he made him,
well, just like
worse.
Dragon Ball Z, he realized that Broly is too powerful, and, you know, if unchecked or whatever, and the Saiyans are not really a loving, caring race, so, you know, they remove obstacles.
But you can't just, like, you know, torture a kid because you're afraid of what they'll become. Like, that's not fair. And I feel like when Broly's collar was actually taken, well, we're on the spoiler section, right?
Yeah.
So when Broly's collar is actually taken off, he's sitting there talking with a few people. They're giving him food that he's never had and water, and he's not killing everybody. So it's like he does have the potential to learn to be a good person, which I don't know if they had that in the original, but
no.
Like, that was such a touching scene. I almost felt like crying, like when he was talking about his friend that he made on the planet of a monster, and how his dad killed it. It was like, oh my gosh, like, in that moment, that's what makes that one girl almost fall in love with him, to the point where she realized she had to help him later on, because she realized that this is an innocent, no matter if he's killing people or not, he's really an innocent soul inside. He's not trying to kill people.
Toriyama changed his personality.
He has a completely different personality in this movie. He's lost control of himself. He's being forced to fight by other people and conditioned to fight, but inside of himself, all he wants to do is make friends. So, wow, like, oh my gosh, you just feel so much for Broly. You just want to give him a hug, and that's what makes this movie amazing to me. That's why I liked it.
This is a really good movie. So, Broly, just like with the magic jewelry he had in Dragon Ball Z, his dad gave him like this collar that he would shoot electric shocks into him, and the girl that Amber says is the love interest, she didn't like that, so she stole the zappy thing and she destroyed it. The problem with this, once this is gone, there's no way to control Broly anymore, and there's massive problems that happen because of it.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, because we had to pick characters again, pretty much she's kind of like the love interest, this like little green alien girl, which she's probably gonna have a bigger role in the next like incarnation of the series. Mm-hmm. And she's like Broly's BFF, and she really cares about him a lot. So she destroyed the collar because she thought that it's not cool that the dad was like abusing Broly.
Yeah.
To keep his power in check. But the problem was what they saw during the fight is Broly would keep, changing. He was already a match for them in his base form. The base form is basically like when Goku and Vegeta's hair is black. That's considered a base form in Dragon Ball. So Broly's base form was a match for Super Saiyan Vegeta.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan God Red Vegeta. And almost Super Saiyan Blue. And...
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know. No, not really Super Saiyan Blue. Wasn't really a match for it. And the funny thing is, Frieza is super entertained during this whole thing, and then he's kind of remembers something when he sees Broly fighting Vegeta and Goku, and he's like, there's one thing missing that I noticed that Broly's not doing right now. He's not a Super Saiyan, and the father's like, I don't know if he can do that. And Frieza's like, really?
Oh
and then,
my gosh, yeah.
Then he kills the father, and then he's like, it's a very funny moment in the movie. It's not like a really gory death or anything like that. He kills the father, and then he's like, Broly, something terrible's happened. Some stray laser fire killed your father. And Broly sees it, and he turns into a Super Saiyan. And during the course of the battle, he goes Super Saiyan, and he goes Super Saiyan level 2. And his Super Saiyan level 2 is more than a match for Super Saiyan Blue.
Yeah, it felt like Broly... I kept feeling like Broly was gonna die the whole time. Or that Goku or Vegeta were gonna die.
They said the problem with being in a Berserker form, like in any anime, is Berserkers, they tend to exhaust their life force.
Yeah, like they're not... It's like being on... it's like being on caffeine times a trillion. Like you're using all this energy that you don't really have, and you could literally... You don't have any check and balance to make yourself rest when you need rest. You can basically, like, destroy yourself by exerting all your energy.
Even though the father was a jerk, he kind of cared about his son in that respect, because the collar was designed to stop Broly from going too far. Like, it was not a very nice thing to happen, but it's kept his son alive for, 40 years or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to see the collar working when they were on that ship, and then that one guy was trying to mess with that one alien girl, and Broly got upset. But then you thought, oh, the collar's just gonna zap him a little bit. It really was hurting him.
Oh yeah, it would take him out if he was fighting something and going all out. It was the only thing that could snap him back to reality.
Yeah.
Because his mind is so damaged.
And then, like, during the fight, at some point when Vegeta
Not yet.
Well, no, I meant before the father died.
Yeah, before the father died.
During the fight, like, at one point, like, who's that guy? Frieza. He was like, oh, okay, I've seen enough, we're done. And then the father tries to tell Broly to stop. He tries to do the collar, but then his collar's not there. And that was like, oh my gosh, like, where did it go? Yeah, but then that was kind of like, then the fight went beyond anything. Like, it was already, like, tremendously beyond anything.
Oh, it was an awesome fight. Like, Frieza was very pleased with it, but he was like, oh, he can't go Super Saiyan, so we're just gonna stop now. But after he goes Super Saiyan, he is more than a match for Goku and Vegeta, like I said, and Goku and Vegeta are kind of like, okay, we need to do something drastic. So Goku uses instant transmission and leaves, and Broly, who is so blinded by the rage and the death of his father, not even realizing that Frieza was the one who killed him, when Goku and Vegeta, like, disappear right in front of Frieza, now Frieza has to fight Broly.
Yeah, then he goes after Frieza, exactly. And that was what was really funny, was because Frieza's using everyone to fight everybody, and now he's getting a taste of his own medicine, because... That
was hilarious, yeah.
Because Broly's gone insane. He is not even thinking clearly at this point.
Nope.
He's just fighting anyone. So, yeah...
And then they show, like, some fun stuff with Piccolo teaching the fusion dance, which is something Vegeta hates, the fusion form. And for the first time in Dragon Ball Super, we get to see Gogeta. And actually, I don't believe Gogeta was ever canon until this movie. Like...
Oh, yeah.
Vegeta never did the dance because he thought it was stupid.
Yeah, and so this one they were able to fuse without any kind of...
They usually see the Vegeta form that I'm playing as right now.
They
that's
usually have rings
earrings
or something.
Yep.
Yeah. But this one they were able to fuse without that. And I liked how Piccolo was in the movie kind of being like a father figure or like a sensei or something.
Well, he is basically the god of Earth, like, you know. Kame, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that goes back to Dragon Ball Z, though.
So he's like the protector of Earth?
Exactly, yep.
Like, kind of like Godzilla or something, but not.
I wouldn't say, like, Godzilla.
He's like the protector of Earth, like, I don't know, I was thinking like, the male version of Mother Earth or something, like, but, no, he's just the protector of Earth. I'm not gonna go anywhere like that. Yeah. Alright, sounds good. So his job is to protect Earth. So he's always been on Earth then? Or?
And he's the only reason that the Dragon Balls can be on Earth, because the Dragon Balls are Namekian, which is what Piccolo is. He's from a planet called Namek, which is all Dragon Ball Z territory.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that... So yeah, I mean, like, it was really interesting to see, and I felt like Vegeta was actually... I felt like Vegeta was strong. Like, a lot of times he seemed like he was stronger than Goku, but... Somehow Goku was able to talk Broly down a little bit better.
Well, the thing that Whis wanted, like, all of Dragon Ball Super was about teaching Goku and Vegeta to work together, because if they work together, they can defeat any obstacle, but their pride doesn't allow them to work together.
Oh yeah,
so
they were fighting him one at a time at first, and then later on...
They teamed up and they realized they couldn't beat him, so Goku had that last-ditch effort. Okay, we have to go fuse. And then they fuse and they become Gogeta. Now, the thing about fusing is you only have 30 minutes to fight. So it's an amazing fight that happens between Gogeta and Broly, to the point that all of reality is changing around him. That's how powerful, and they're still on Earth too. But it's this really amazing battle.
Oh,
that happens.
Yeah.
And over the course of the fight...
yeah, they break reality.
They break reality, yep.
Yeah, that was like, whoa. So it's almost like they're fighting through all these different forms, and then they end up fighting in the ultimate form, which is like, they somehow break the dimensional, like, reality or something.
And Broly doesn't even go Super Saiyan God form. He's just Super Saiyan 2. That's how powerful his power level is, though.
Yeah.
And during the fight, it really looks like Gogeta is going to defeat Broly time and time again, but Broly survives, but his heart is probably going to give out eventually. So, you know, wanting to save her friend, that green alien creature steals Frieza's Dragon Balls that he was going to use for something interesting.
Yeah.
And she makes the wish to have the dragon save Broly. So Broly, the last minute before Goku can finish him off, or Gogeta, using like his super attack, which... The problem with the fusing Saiyans is they don't really pay attention to the planet that they're supposed to be protecting. Gogeta does a lot of damage to this part of Earth that used to be the Antarctic. Like, it becomes a volcano-infested wasteland like the background you see here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was kind of cool. Oh, boy. And if it wasn't for the little green alien, then Broly might actually have died. Now, people can argue that Broly did not die in the Dragon Ball Z universe. Like, people say the first time he fought Goku, Goku didn't destroy him and Broly ended up going somewhere. But then Gohan and Goten, years later after Goku was dead, they killed Broly because Gohan was not happy that Videl, his wife, got attacked by Broly when they were just on this random, like, collect the Dragon Balls mission. So, using the combined power of Goten, the deceased Goku, and Gohan, they were able to Kamehameha Broly into the sun. So, I mean, it was a similar ending that was happening with Broly in the movie until the dragon saved him and brought him back to his planet, and then the little people go over to where the planet is that Broly went to. And I love how the movie ends. I don't want to spoil it for you, but all you need to know is that the character Broly is coming back. Yeah. It's probably the best version of the character that's ever appeared in Dragon Ball so far. Toriyama did an amazing job. The fight stuff was good. The story was good. Everything about the movie was great. It's one of my favorite animated movies in years. Like, I enjoyed it more than the Spider-Verse. I did.
I mean, I enjoyed it more than, like, almost anything I've seen for a long time.
And it was a shorter movie than the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, even though there's a lot of action, the few dialogue scenes that there are. I mean, there's a lot of dialogue, but I mean, they just put so much heart into, you know, they don't even have to take that long or a lot of scenes to put for you to understand like the characters and understand their heart and what they're coming from and what they want. And I just think, I don't know, it's really interesting. I really like it. And yeah, I feel like Broly is like I don't know, I feel like he's so tough. It's like, I feel like he's like a Rambo Saiyan or something like that. He's just like, I don't know, he's just so tough. But you get to see, yeah, you get to see all of their personalities come out, Goku and everybody. So.
Yep,
yeah.
It's a really great movie. We strongly advise you guys check it out while it's still in theaters, although I believe it's going to be leaving theaters very soon, but it will be coming to DVD and Blu-ray shortly. But that does it for our review of Dragon Ball Super, the Broly movie.
Yay.
We hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. It's a fantastic film. Vegeta's the best character in it. I'm just letting you know that people were screaming in the theater when he transformed into Super Saiyan Red. Like, nobody was expecting that to happen, and it was an amazing fight.
Yeah.
It just was. I mean, the movie's got humor, it's got action, it's got heart, and it's under 2 hours. So, I mean, it's perfect for just going to the movies.
It's got babysitting.
Oh, yeah. That, people have to, you'll see what that's about. We didn't spoil some of the good stuff. We went over what the basic plot of the movie is, we told you some of the cool stuff, and we did keep some secrets, so those of you going to the movie, you'll have a lot of fun. But that does it for another Kwing at the Movies. Before we forget, we will be doing more of our movie commentary things over on our Patreon. That'll be happening in February. We will be doing more with Dragon Ball FighterZ in February because there will be a new character coming. I believe it's Jiren from the end of Dragon Ball Super. The guy who Goku and Vegeta couldn't defeat.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's a big boy. But anyway, in the comment section below, tell us your favorite aspect of the Dragon Ball Super movie or your favorite character from Dragon Ball Super, and we will see you with something else on KwingsLetsPlays. God bless and happy gaming.
See ya!